Well, hello, my YouTube friends. So I'm going to go ahead and install this muzzle brake. A couple thoughts. I got a new crush washer, and I have the crush washer and two of the shims that came with the muzzle brake itself. And so what I did, the shims were like much bigger around than the barrel at that point, and so I put them in between the crush washer and the muzzle brake. But what I did, because they were bigger around, I wanted them to have, to at least try to be equal. So holding the barrel in this position, and then I loosened it, and with gravity holding it in place, I used toothpick to kind of get them, in the best spot that I could, so it can be somewhat even all the way around. Right, not perfect, but I did the best I could with that. And then, so you'll notice that, okay, so that's the 12 o'clock position of the barrel. And I'm turned a little bit. Not sure if we can get a good idea of where it's at, and how much angle's left on it. So it's at 11 o'clock, 10:30 maybe. I'm not for sure how much a crush washer has, but I should be able to get the 12 o'clock position, and I'm not going to use any thread locker on it. We'll see if the crush washer pressure is enough to hold it in place. I found this tool finally, and it was interesting. I don't know what I used it for. You can see right there, A2 extension. I used it on something. It's worn. And then the muzzle device. So interestingly enough, it fits. So like the muzzle device right there, right, the A2. But it also fits this one. And I guess the flats, right here, I guess that's the only flat. So that's where I'm going to have to apply pressure to turn it. But it was interesting to see that, oops, get a better view, that this tool actually fits. If I can, the tool. So I wonder if I could turn it that much with this tool. I'm not going to, though. I'm just going to use a 3/4. I will fold a piece of paper over it to try and not mar it, even though it's going to be covered up by the blast shield and it's going to get burnt and whatever. But no need to unnecessarily damage it. It will get its wear lines in time. So I'm just going to use a 3/4. I got my reaction rod. It's a Gazelle. Okay, after I get this twisted on, we'll come back and we'll take a closer look at this upper. It's the only upper I've ever assembled. And, okay, hold on a second. Okay, well, that didn't take long at all. And, of course, it wouldn't. I was just turning the brake, as a nut on a bolt. So, let me see. And it's kind of almost like a optical illusion, or I don't know. I mean, I take a look at it out there in the garage and it looks right, and then I bring it in here and look at it and it doesn't look right. And then comparing it to the hand guard, but the hand guard is dependent on the barrel nut. And so, I don't know, it looks pretty close. I think close enough for me. I turned it over, and there's a hole in it in case you need to pin and weld. And as near as I could tell, that hole in it was at the 6 o'clock position. So I got a nail, right? And even the nail's loose, right? I didn't check and see exactly what the diameter of the hole was. And so then looking at the it seemed like it's in the correct position, right? If I look at the hole compared to the barrel, the fluted barrel, it looks right, and then the flat on the bottom of it looks wrong. And I mean, I'm gonna go with it. And it didn't take very much torque at all to tighten. I don't know how much it's supposed to have. If it loosens, right, if it's not damaged, I can get another crush washer, or I can stack more shims, and if it loosens, it's not the end of the world. So I'm going to go with it for now. Okay, that's the. I like this one. I like the look of it. I like the angled back baffles right there. We'll go ahead and put the blast shield on it. It's got a big old thing on it now, so that's what it looks like. Okay, let's take a look at this upper receiver assembly. And so the barrel, you can see the barrel is quite shiny. I think I talked about it already. I put it in my uncle's lathe and hit it with increasing fineness of wet, dry sandpaper. It is a Wilson barrel, 16-inch length. And yeah, I seem to remember talking about this. You can see I ground away all the powder coating or the anodizing or whatever it is to brighten up the inside of it. And I was happy with the look of that. I'll get some focus. And so the handguard is just a regular handguard, even though Ammo Dogs, they carved their name in it right there. And then they ground it down a little bit to fit closer to the upper receiver. The upper receiver is from Ammo Dogs. I believe they make theirs. I know they make their lowers out of billet aluminum. Has the modern musket dust cover. Look, I already damaged it right there, or at least scraped the color on it. The bolt carrier group is a nickel boron or whatever, from Spike's Tactical. Not that I have any experience with Spike's Tactical products. I was buying parts for it that I thought were neat. So I went with the Spike's bolt carrier group. The charge handle is the BCM Gunfighter. This one shop I used to go to, you had it hanging on the wall, so I went with that. It's a two finger job. All my other ARs have like the regular mil-spec charge handle, and the scope can get in the way. So I guess most of you guys know that already. So sometimes I thought this would be convenient to have it wider once I get a scope on it. I don't have any sighting system for this upper. I still got to get around to doing that. That's going to be another $800 or $1,000 or something. A Leopold or something nice. I don't even know what the best scope would be for it. I guess it would be a medium range at best, a short to medium range. So not too much magnification, right? I mean, it's a 223. I'm not going to be shooting out to 1,000 yards. I only shoot 100 yards anyway. So, yeah, that's that. Got that out of the way. So for the verse of the day, we're going to go to the book of Matthew, and we're going to go to chapter 18. I move that ribbon. Chapter 18. I'll just go ahead and read all three since they're all highlighted already. Matthew 18:18. Verily I say unto you, whatsoever ye shall bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever ye shall loose on earth shall be loose in heaven. Again I say unto you, that if two of you shall agree on earth as touching any things that they shall ask, it shall be done for them of my Father which is in heaven. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them. And I always took that verse 20 to mean, someone told me that, and I agreed with it, that churches are nice and assembly halls and everything like that, but God is where people are gathered together in prayer and worship and fellowship and that sort of thing. It can be someone's living room, someone's backyard. It could be, at the retreat up in the mountains, wherever. It doesn't have to be in, a church per se. So I'll read that number 20 one more time. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them. All right, my friends, you have a good day.